move on. But he kept on clinging, I don't know, to power. I don't know. He did probably is the way now we are getting to know is that he had two kind of phase. One which was in the government, and another a plan to exit. And exit was Sifuna. And Sifuna has really carried it on. He has brought he has got mass followers, especially the young generation, who see hope in him. And I'm praying to God he does not get into the government because, or get infiltrated against the government because everyone feels that, the young generation see him as hope. And even as parents who have young generation kids, we hope that we are seeing a hope. We are hoping that he will fight for this government. If I am Sifuna, I think I will exit. I will exit, form my own party. Because why? If we continue having these randles with ODM, going to court, fighting, there is a part of him that is going to lose. People, he might not have the same, you'll not be doing the same things that he's doing now. You should just come out and be a man. Start something of his own. Everyone starts something of his own. No matter how small it is, trust me, it is going to grow, given that the influence that people have, the influence that he has on everyone. For me, my take will be, Sifuna, please, just come out of ODM. Form, yes, you are not letting Baba down. It is his people who have let you down. So he is young. Let him start off. He might not win 2027, probably, but trust me, he has the space, he has the influence, he has the charisma to be a president of this country later on. But we are hoping and praying that we Kenyans can, if he has his own party and he has people supporting him, he can even take the presidency, even in 2027. Because honestly, Kenya is not going in the right place. I keep on saying that. Let me take an example of our president. Our president is like somebody who wants to buy, a parent who wants to buy a house in Runda, when his own children actually does not have the salary that supports it. His children are suffering, but he still goes ahead and takes a loan to buy the house in Runda. Then he's not able to meet. He goes to borrow another bank. He's put Kenya into a mess. So, and we are, for me, we need a fresh start. We need a fresh ideology. We need everything to go, no matter how. And if look at Sifuna, we see he's able to. So for me, as Frida, I will tell Sifuna, the way things are going, the way he should be now man up, form his own thing, and people will be there to support him. Whatever it is, whatever he will get, we will say, I did my level best. I always have this thing that I share. Do your level best. When you fail, you will not regret. At least you said, I did my level best. That's my take.
Well, thank you so much. I'll come back to you with another question. Now, Juma, Kelly, do you have, you can introduce yourself and say something about that.
Thank you very much. My name is Juma. Stephen is calling me Juma Kelly. Just to set the record straight, I don't like being called Kelly for my own personal reasons. So let Juma stick. I'm a teacher. I teach at a school in Kikuyu in Kiambu County. And thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to also contribute about important matters happening in our country. As you have highlighted, you have talked about Sifuna, the Sifuna purge in ODM. So one of the things we have to know is that Sifuna has been seen defending. He was one of the foot soldiers of Baba that Baba could depend on. If you are very keen with politics in our country, and if you've been watching him on interviews, you'll come to the conclusion that Sifuna has been number one defender of Baba and ODM policies. And you realize that he was against anything that was against ODM and Baba. So when Raila went into union, some kind of union with UDA, they had some agreements that they put in place. And I think ODM supporting Ruto was not among them. Actually, Baba himself had not talked about two-term. You remember him asking us during the ODM whatever, before when they were planning for the convocation in Mombasa before Baba left us, Baba said, who told you? Who told you that ODM will not have a presidential candidate in 2027? Remember, some voices in ODM by that time had already started talking about two-term, and I think that's what Sifuna is against, and I think I support him because the ODM I know, I have also been a member of ODM since 2013. I have supported ODM up to this point. So the ODM I know, it has not been a party that goes to the table of negotiations like begging. Actually, its opponent has been begging it, despite the fact that all these years the party has been in the opposition. So I think after Raila's death, the people who took over after Baba, they have weakened the party. As we go to the 2027 general elections, when ODM enters into a truce with another party, I think it will play second fiddle, which is not a good thing. So for me, I think Sifuna should stay, not to stay to say that he's still not to hold power in ODM. I think the drama happening now, the back and forth, is very necessary for him because I believe he's a future leader. The political life, his political life is very bright, and it is very promising. So he need to be some sort of a martyr. Let him stay in ODM. Let the purge continue so that it gives him the publicity that is required. Then I think at the right time he can leave. And I think Sifuna is a very good student of Baba. When Raila joined Moi in 1997, you remember after Moi announced his intention to support Uhuru Kenyatta to vie for presidency in 2002, Baba walked away and he went away with so many people. So I think Sifuna is also using the same strategy. So yes, I believe he should walk away. But when? I don't believe now. If now is the appropriate time for him to walk away. So let Sifuna stay in ODM.
With the neck of ODM. Now, our question was, what's next for him? Should he form his own political party, or is still going to hide in the shadows of ODM?
Is it my time to speak?
Yes, Moses.
Okay, thank you, Steve. Sorry, I joined quite late. There are issues of Nairobi, definitely traffic and other things, so I was held up somewhere a little bit. But thank you for your time. And I've had, I came in when the other guest was speaking, but I was unable at least to understand where we're going to start from and we're continuing. So the issue of Sifuna, what next for Sifuna?
Sorry,
And I think
Moses, 3 minutes, kindly.
3 minutes.
Yes, 3 minutes so that we can save on time.
It's okay. I think I was talking, right? Or you're trying to give me my time?
Yeah, continue. Sorry, I did not say that when you started. Sorry.
Okay, so I'm going to be very brief. In less than 3 minutes, I'm done with it. So my issue is this. My concern is this, based on the question that we're discussing about the issue of Sifuna. What next for Sifuna? And if I can just summarize in a nutshell, number one, politics is a game of numbers. And I'm trying to look at history, the former people who left ODM, the likes of Uhuru Kenyatta. Let me talk about William Samoei Ruto. You cannot leave a party and you don't have option B. Because I can see now, Sifuna came to podium one day. I think they were having a delegation conference somewhere, meeting with delegates somewhere in Nairobi. I don't know which place was that. And he stated clearly he cannot be an SG to mediocrity, which means, according to him, he feels like, can he leave? I'm seeing Sifuna is like in a quagmire state. He doesn't know what suits him because, number one, Sifuna lacks what we call political muscle. He lacks financial muscle. And I think Sifuna is depending on other people's forces. The likes of me and you, we hype him online here. Mimi ndio Sifuna, I don't know, whatever things, but at the end of the day, he doesn't have the roadmap. If lack of a better word, Sifuna is still a toddler when it comes to politics. He was hanging on Baba's coat. That's why he was elected as a senator. He hasn't grown horns. Let us not hype this boy. He hasn't grown horns to reach what we call the political big boys in this country. Hajafikia level bado. And politics is a game of numbers. Number one, when Ruto walked out of ODM, he made sure, number one, Kalenjins are behind him. So now when Sifuna is walking out of ODM, even his community, I told you last time when we were here, I told you last time, Sifuna has been SG of ODM for 8 good years. 8 good years. We don't have even a single member of county assembly from Bungoma, where he comes from. That Sifuna persuaded and convinced to join ODM, which means that nyumbani hana ground hata kidogo. Then I heard somebody comparing Sifuna to Baba. Those are like, you're comparing day and night. Sifuna is not even a quarter of Baba. Even today, if Sifuna stands there, how many MPs are behind him? Because without blinking my eye, Sifuna is being sponsored by other forces. You can hear them from the mountain. They're yapping more than us, calling themselves mimi ndio Sifuna. Nikasema last time, watu wangu wa mlima mseme nyinyi ndio Gachagua. Allow us to defend our own son, of which we know he has a weakness. You can see somebody brought in Sifuna to neutralize Babu Wino. These are games they're playing. Waliona Babu Wino ameinuka, wakamsimamishia Sifuna. So now there's what we call the supremacy battle between Babu Wino and Sifuna. That is a game going on. And somebody is trying to play that game to make sure that Sifuna doesn't rise again. Last as I finish, Sifuna is simply a passing cloud, to be honest. Na kama ni moto kule kwetu ungesema ni moto ya makaratasi. Sifuna cannot be a president now, truth be told. Unless he gets a political party that is unable to, he has never run to one. Unless Sifuna chooses to swallow his pride, he goes back to defend his Senate seat. Ama enda tengeneze chama, ndio aanze kujipanga. That is my take on Sifuna. So Sifuna, to me, he has to shelve all presidential ambition. If at all he has one, I don't know, because he has never said. Or else, tutamsahau.
Okay, thank you, Moses. I'll come back to you. Now, let me give Lian the opportunity.
Good evening, everyone. So, first of all, for me, I hate this Kenyan mentality that we all have. Sifuna this, Babu that, yada, yada, yada. They were chased, they were not. If you look at the political dynamics, all these guys are business partners, okay? So 90% of the time, whenever they argue, is business gone wrong. So when I hear someone saying that, Sifuna is the next, Sifuna is that and all that, my question is, has he come forward and just said, you know what, I'm going to vie, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that? Or is it another political theatrics? Because if you're lucky enough to be in these political circles, which I have been, all these guys who always pretend that they are together, they have issues, they're actually best friends. They sit down, wanaongea mkahawa, unasikia, we, kesho nitakutukana, pia mimi nitarudisha. That's what they do. My thing is, when we talk about the purge of, the purge of like this thing, purge corruption, what and all that, the purge and power for Kenyans, I think this discussion is highly 100% opposite, because you only focus on one human being who is useless just because he says what we want to hear because we are mad. Again, it's literally PR. Unaona? So if we're going to talk about the purge and power for Kenyans' future, we need to look at it in terms of like, okay, let's look at purge and power. What is the main cause issue? First of all, we have corruption, we have youth empowerment, we have the democratic institutions, such as the IEBC. We have the opportunities promotion. We have the ethical leadership. So this is something we are all missing. So whether Sifuna, Babu, ODM, like I swear to God, forgive my French for saying this, but it's a lot of bullshit. Because if you've been behind the scenes with these guys, you will 100% understand how they operate. Now, how I would look at it will be like, are we looking at clean leadership that empowers citizens? And what is the Kenyan's future? Unaona? So when we start focusing on one man because he said something we like this week, let me tell you, Gachagua said something that I like, and I don't want to talk about Gachagua, but alinipatia kitu yenyewe, niko like enyewe, I needed to hear this. So these guys for me are just princesses, to be quite honest. Okay, so we're out here thinking, oh, who's after Baba Nini and all that. I will ask one question, not in a bad way, and forgive me for this because I know I'm going to trigger a lot of people for saying it out loud. There's a lot of Odingaism with people. Like, I saw a grown man crying when Baba died, and I'm like, not in a bad way. I feel sad for the family. But what has this guy done for you? Does he know your name? Did he come to your village and said, this is this? Or do they use their influence to raise you up? So as Kenyans, we need to stop being stupid and start using our common sense. Okay? Because we are out here talking about, oh, Sifuna this, Sifuna that, but in real sense, not in a bad way, is he has been in power, okay? What has he done? I feel like what we need to be doing is mostly like talking in terms of, uh, yes, Moses, I see you. I will allow Baba to rest, but forgive me, stop bringing the Dingaism here. Not in a bad way. I don't speak ill of the dead, but you see, that's the same thing. You already triggered, and that's why I apologize. So let me finish my point. The thing is, as Kenyans, we've been put in a position whereby we are sectioned into favorism, into who is popular, into who do we like, into okay. But if we go into the deep questions, let's start. Ayasawa, it's this person, this institution, okay? Uh, how many cases do they have? How many corruption? What is this? Ni nini yenye wamefanya? Wamekusaidiaje kibinafsi? Because I know so many popular people whereby they're known, they're loved, but when it comes to performance, they do not, they do not perform, they do not deliver. So for me is we have this Kenyanism whereby because I grew up knowing, it's like a Stockholm syndrome. Instead of looking at the reality, it's like right now, when someone said, Ati, Ruto is not doing this, but blaming it is on stupid decisions. So why are we not realistic in terms of the decisions we make as human beings that lead us to this place whereby, we are there? So yeah, so we're not going to focus in terms of Sifuna this, Sifuna that, and all that. As much as he is very popular, he's been thrown out of the party. It's okay. But the thing is, these guys have their own inner conflicts. Okay. So they have their own inner conflicts. They sell out. Come 2027, when it comes to election, and Moses, forgive me, but I have high intelligence. Okay. When it comes to the elections 2027, you'll be so surprised in terms of the person who was. Must I just take a sip? Stop giving me your attitude. When you were talking, no one was interfering with you. So when it comes to 2027, what's going to happen? You will see a lot of these people who we are supporting because we think that, that the right people, as much we think like they don't have the damn power to say, it's like a divide and conquer. Okay. And that's how politicians win over. So, yes, as much as we're talking about this, the right question would be, as Kenyans, okay? As Kenyans, it should be like in terms of like, where's the future? Like, does the future depend on political competition or is it individual favorism? And for me, when we look at the favorism, that is what we've been doing over and over again. So can we start looking at accountability, their pasts, what they're doing, and is it something that they can be able to help us with? So I yield to the next person.
Wow.
Steve,
Wow. Thank you.
Steve,
Moses, wait. I'll come back to you.
just a quick one.
No, kindly wait.
I'm
Kindly.
saying just a quick one in less than a second.
I know what you want to say, just kindly, please.
Okay. I hope you'll give me.
Give me that opportunity. I'll address it kindly. Thank you so much, Jan, for the insight. That was wonderful. But now, I know you have brought up another sort of discussion, which is quite okay. We have been having these discussions. Now, I think this is the third one. We started with the whatever was happening in schools. Last week we discussed another kind of topic. Today we are doing another discussion. So we usually look at, I know you want us to speak about the triggers that cause people to speak about these politicians. And now we must also, but for today we were speaking about whatever is trending within the political space in the course of the week. And one of them was about the removing of the DMSG, that is Edwin Sifuna, from his position. So that was one of the areas that we were focusing on. It is not that one only. We have many issues, including the voting of the finance bill and the rest. So it is not about the individual. That was just part of the discussion that we are having today. Now, I don't want to speak about.
Which is still fine. But if I may just say so, you see, the other thing we have to look at it is, if you look at history in terms of like how politicians do things, one of the things they normally do is try to do, they deploy, okay, how do I say this? Now imagine the worst case scenario. Sometimes when the political party is losing relevance, they try to make a magnitude out of something. Now, here we are talking about the removal of Sifuna, which is 100% a valid conversation. But can you imagine right now, Steve? We are talking about him being removed. We're like, oh, so raged up. We're so mad. We're like, Mbwana, is the best, is this and this and that. And then come 2027, they hold another meeting, and then wameshikana mkono wanasema the prodigal son has returned home. Where does that leave us? That's what I'm telling you, is a divide and conquer. So it's most like we have to look at it as smart people. Like, okay, so ametolewa, kunaendaje? But for those of us who know behind the scenes, we're like, hii ni kipindire. They say that, hii ni vipindi. Because what they want to do is create public rage, create. Then like, yeah, we're going for this person. Then imagine we're all rallied after Sifuna, other people are rallied after ODM, and then if mahali waseme sasa sisi kama ODM na sisi kama hii party ya Sifuna tumeungana na who's that Jimmy Waijingi's party, Safina, something like that, yeah, hypothetically speaking, by the way. And then after that they're like, okay, now we're one party, okay, we're going to support this guy.
Host, how do you balance your time? How do you balance your time?
Okay. I wanted to cut a short.
A quick one. I just asked for 30 seconds. You have denied me. So is there any right?
Okay, just take
an interjection of
30
less than 30 seconds.
Okay, take 30 seconds.
My
but
question is this, you know.
Don't be emotional, kindly.
I'm not emotional. Why should I be emotional?
Okay, now go on.
Politics I'm not emotional, but my issue is this. Somebody just mentioned about intelligence. I want to tell that lady was here. Her intelligence should also help her to understand when we have a topic we're discussing. Though I don't know what is taking place, Steve. If you are the moderator, Steve, can we stick to the question that you've asked? If there's no need, somebody comes and he wants to run the discussion as if he's going to give us another topic to discuss. So can we stick to the question you asked? Me, when you give me my 3 minutes, I confine myself basing on the questions, not because I'm not intelligent. So kindly, if we're going to have a sober discussion, can somebody come on the platform to answer the question asked? Not to form your own questions. Now start giving us lecture here. Let's stick to the
one
question.
is giving you a lecture.
Then we can
if a woman can be able to so there was no agree to your point. Doesn't mean
Leon, kindly.
Then why don't you wait? Why don't you wait?
Shish.
Moses
why don't you
Leon.
wait?
We agree to disagree, and we have
no.
Then
why don't you
Can I say something too? Can I say something?
Leon, kindly, I beg of you, kindly, let us have ample time.
Okay, let me take, okay, I agree with whatever Lillian is saying. It is okay. It is something that we all know about leadership. That is, but there's a question that you asked. Somewhere there I support Moses. You ask us about Sifuna. We are supposed to talk our feelings about Sifuna and what is going on about Sifuna. Then another day or another topic, you will bring about how do we want our leadership to be? The ideology that me as Frida or Moses or Lillian will want at least our country to be led on. That time, I think Lillian can go all the way to tell us about those leadership and also, even me, I have a lot to share about the leadership that is there in the country. I mean, the strategies that we can take to improve our country. because we are always being taken for a ride by these politics. But for now, you ask us about South Sifuna. Please let us say something. Do you want him in ODM? Do you? So let us not prolong the topic. Let us stick to the topic. I think that will make it go. So that will be the thing.
Thank you so much, Frida. Leon, I think I'd already explained that now this is our third discussion, and we have been having different topics. Even today, that the issue of Sifuna is not the only topic that we're discussing. Now, we'll also look into the discussion that you have brought in, but not today. Maybe in another discussion.
I respect
another time.
and I apologize, but
now, kindly, let me just finish.
Your
Kindly.
feelings about Sifuna is still the same. He's a decoy.
Okay, kindly let me just finish on this. And kindly let us, at least last week we were good, the previous week we have been good, even today we started well. So let us not have bad spirit among us. Let us just have a honest conversation, good understanding. We are just here for enlightening one another. So hizo issues mingi tuachane nazo kindly. King Maskonde.
Yo, this is Maskonde King Manze. Yeah, nimengoja nipige hiyo intro. Steve, umeniaka kwa anyway, so I'll support Moses. Liam alikuwa out of order, and to the point of correction, that was 30 seconds introduction. Based on the topic of today, Sifuna, I knew from day one, actually, when ilianza na sisi ndio Sifuna, the wave was too strong for any person kusema ai mi si Sifuna. And again, the trends zenye tuko nazo Kenya ni kama mtu anafiringi asiposema mimi si Sifuna, anaweza ambiwa mazoo huko analog. So Sifuna, for me, I knew from kitambo that it's someone that is taking advantage over the situation, and he knew how to manage it. But where alimess ni mahali tunasemanga a good dancer knows the time to leave the stage. So Sifuna had a very nice opportunity to leave the stage kitambo, lakini akasema acha nikuamilie na mchezo wa paka ukachezwa na mapanya wenyewe wakati paka hayuko. Another thing, if you listen to Sifuna akiwa sijui kwa hizo podcast zingine, I won't mention because the Hive is the best show here. Tutaleta Sifuna one time. Alisema that aliambia baba Jakuom pinga mwenyewe that whatever you are trying to do, ende ufanyie huko peke yako, I won't be there. Na akasema alikuwa meeting Mombasa na akaacha baba Raila Amolo Odinga aende apige speech peke yake. Watu wakauliza wapi Sifuna, because that's a game yenye alikuwa anataka kucheza, na hiyo game ndio amejaribu kucheza hadi kwa wakati ODM inafanya meetings zao za internal, very official meetings ya the SG. Juzi akasema hawezi kuwa SG wa mediocre. Then ukitolewa SG unalia, unakimbia, unaanza kusema ati nitaenda Supreme Court ama the Court of Appeal for what? Now hiyo actually that hapo ndo Sifuna anajiangusha. A good leader angetoka na atoke na wafuasi wake strong, because someone said niambie Sifuna ako na MPs wangapi? My member of parliament Patrick Makau ako na Sifuna ako na MPs, not mmoja, not wawili. Too late for him. Way forward of Sifuna, drop all the cases zenye ziko kwa Court of Appeal na akuje, because Kenyans of course kama kawaida sisi tunapendanga sympathy, na hapo ndio Wakenya pia wanajua tulipatia Ruto because of sympathy. So Sifuna pia yeye atafute sympathy votes, aseme unaona venye nimefanyia ODM, sasa sisi ndio Sifuna, Linda Mwananchi, see, it's not a political party. Sasa tunaifanya kama political party, tuweke to register and let us go to the ballot. Otherwise, hata hiyo senator sidhani kama 2027
Okay.
atapata. Thank you.
Thank you, King. Thank you, King. Now, because we have been in one discussion for quite a while, I think, because of issues that we had. Let me just ask this last one before we proceed to our next happening. Now, Kelly, you brought up, sorry for calling you Kelly, Juma, you brought up an issue. You said that Sifuna still need to remain relevant within the party. And then you remember when Raila walked out of Ford Kenya, he had a massive following from his own region. The people from his region were following him. He had a mass following, even outside his region. Now, do you think the wave that Sifuna is experiencing right now is not just a social media issue, which cannot be turned into votes? Or do you think he has that number of votes? Because King Maskonda said that he has MPs who are following behind him. But those MPs have not been elected on Sifuna's party. They have been elected in different political parties. And like the likes of Babu Wina have been elected in ODM. Now, do you think he has that mass following that can enable him move out of ODM and form his own political party? 2 minutes, kindly.
Okay, thank you very much. So you've talked about Baba, and somebody called Moses talked about not trying to compare Sifuna and Baba, but I think as a historian, we learn from even me as a Christian. I draw a lot of lessons from Jesus, but that does not make me any closer to Jesus, the Son of God. So I think in history we draw lessons from people who were before us, so that we are also able to cave away for ourselves. So you have said when Baba walked out of Fort Kenya, he had members of parliament. So the members of parliament were elected on which party? And when they were elected, who was the leader of Fort Kenya? You'll realize it was not Raila Odinga. He was not even closer. Just people with whom he forged the relationships during the time when his political star was trying to rise. Then you can also learn from William Ruto. When Raila entered into a handshake with Uhuru Kenyatta, Ruto started to have issues, and he also walked away after some point. He protracted his stay in Jubilee and left at the appropriate time after he had gathered a lot of sympathy. Politics is about strategy. You can't move out. Yes, sympathy will be one of them. And when you talk about mass following, I don't know what you understand by the term mass following. So basically, because I listen to people on the ground, it's not a matter of social media. People actually are in agreement with the Asifuna's kind of politics, and I don't know what you mean when you talk about mass, because Article 1 of the Constitution talks about the supremacy of the people. So I believe in the people more than the leaders. So I think we cannot downplay Sifuna because no leader is elected on his party. Of course, that is very true. But as now, we are charting the future, where after Sifuna has gathered enough people, he can now be able to propose people who can. For example, today, Gashagwa. Gashagwa has a political party and it's very strong. There is nobody who is elected on Gashagwa's party. But if we are to hold elections today, Gashagwa will be somewhere and his party will be somewhere. Why? Because he came back to the people. So I think it is good Sifuna gathers people first, then leaders can follow later. The lady who spoke about leadership, she was complaining about us, talking about leaders every now and then. And I think that's an issue now here. Because you see, we are looking at how many leaders does Sifuna have, instead of asking how many people are backing Sifuna. So let us first believe that we as a people, we have the power. The constitution talks about sovereignty of the people, not sovereignty of the leaders. So that means if we want real change, let us not look at Sifuna's theatrics in politics. If we have identified Sifuna to be the good person that we want, let us support him, give him the force, isn't it? Yeah, let us support him. And when we see his political star rising, let us not question where is Sifuna getting money and all that. In democracies like America, you saw Trump was a billionaire, but do you know he was funded by people to vie? Isn't it? Kamala Harris was a millionaire, but she was funded by people to vie. So why can't we do the same? If we believe that Sifuna is the person we need, why can't we support him to clinch power? So I
Okay.
think it does not matter whether he has leaders or not, as much as the people we are with him.
Okay.
But
Kelly,
I still hold the view that he should not leave ODM as of now.
Juma, you're speaking about the supremacy of the people. We are not talking about leaders only. I think I was responding to, I think it was Maskonde who said that there are some MPs who are behind Sifuna. I'm speaking about the people, the voters themselves, not the MPs. When I talk about the voters, you know, even Sifuna himself in one of the podcasts, I don't know if you watched it, he said that he cannot vie right now because of the online pressure that he's getting from social media. To mean that he also has intelligence on ground. So my question was, does the pressure that he has on social media the only thing that he has as at now, or he has people on the ground, of which you have also explained to me that you have listened to the ground and you think he has people. But also my question to you, I think you can respond in 30 seconds. Should he resign from ODM? Then he go back to the voters so that we can prove that right now he has the number of people to vie for the Senate, the same way Jaramogi Oginga Odinga did. Should he resign from the party and go and seek new election as the Senator of ODM of Nairobi?
Thank you very much for using Jaramogi as an example. Jaramogi did that at his own peril. So I think Sifuna learns from it. I don't believe he should resign and go back to the people to seek election as Jaramogi did. You know, Jaramogi never came back actually, but maybe as Raila did, leaving Kanu and forming LDP and going to vie as member of parliament for Langat and winning. But you know, the politics changed. Today, Sifuna is disadvantaged. If he goes home, the state will use its resources to ensure that Sifuna does not see the light of the day. So let him fight from within.
Okay, thank you. I think we're done with that. Lian, if you have something to say, kindly let it be within this topic because I've seen you've raised your hand. Just
Yeah,
1 minute.
it's going to be within the topic, and I think everyone is just like getting paranoid. Listen, I like what Juma has said in terms of like Sifuna, to be quite honest, and it makes sense. You see, for a very long time, when you look at the ODM party, it has been led by, it's like a family business, okay? It's one family, one man who has been controlling a lot of things. Unfortunately, we look at it in terms of like how Kanu was. Anything ilikwanga Kanu ilikwanga ni Arap Moi Kidole. We all knew Kanu was belonging to the Moi family. So now here we are, an unfortunate thing happens. So now the party has a family conflict, okay? And then one of the person who's not in the family dynamics decide this is not for me. So the question was, should he leave? Should he resign or not? My other question would be, okay, we are seeing how these things are playing out in public, okay? We're seeing one family member say is in support of him living, the other one is not in support of him living. It's a conflict. Unaona? So wanapigana wao kwa wenyewe. But my question would be, aya sawa, atatoka ama atabaki. But it's more of like, are they doing this to gain mostly like public attention? Okay. Or are they doing this to just be like, okay, enyewe rosafi, huku ndani ni kunoma, we're not getting along. So for me, when it comes to Sifuna, I honestly believe that he's a is a decoy. One, let's look at all the things he do. Again, it's purge and power. So let's look at the ethical part. If you look at how he questions people, the ministers, the governors, in terms of like easy venye wanatumianga pesa, he's very tough. And it's a really good show. But the question is, after that, they find so many loose ends, so many public funds not being, held accountable, etc. What follows after that? Inakwanga radio silence. So now for me, I'll look at it in terms of like, okay, aya. So jama, unatoka uko huku uko wapi? So honestly, for me, I just feel like he's a decoy. He's a decoy for us to shift attention so that we can be able to see, is he in ODM or not? Or maybe he's the one who is going to be the next person to make the party more attentionable and more popular.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Okay. Thank you so much, Rian. You did earlier mentioned. Sorry, I failed to highlight it. An issue about Raila Odinga. When you speak about Raila Odinga's death,
I know.
it is always emotional to most of us here, including me. Actually, I'm among those people who cried. Maybe you never saw me, and I almost died at Nyayo Stadium because of that. I know I'm the panelist, but when it comes to Raila, I always have a lot of respect for that name. So kindly,
I also have a lot of
sorry.
respect for Raila. Don't get me wrong, but
Okay, it's fine.
Mr. Moderator, honestly, joining such kind of a forum, it's whereby we're trying to put our emotions aside and
Yeah,
just
I know.
have a
Yes.
very honest conversation. So it didn't mean to actually offend anyone. It's just like an honest conversation.
Host,
That was just.
can you balance the discussion, please? Can you balance the discussion, please?
Please,
So,
You're
so
drop
I'm
the,
just
giving
drop
Liam
the
more
issue,
airtime.
drop the
More
issue,
airtime to
please,
Liam,
let them
please.
that was just on a
President,
light
please,
note.
can we proceed, please?
we have a lot of listeners listening. We have a lot of
Sure.
people following the hype.
Okay. King,
But what
kindly, let us mute. I was just saying that because I know majority of people here, including Juma, including Moses, and everyone else, they're a big supporter of Raila. So let us just leave him out of this discussion in some way or the other. But he must
My
just, because
apologies.
we cannot talk about Kenyan politics without mentioning his name. Now, the
My
next,
apologies.
no problem. It is okay. It was on a light note. Now, our next discussion, let us leave that issue of Sifuna. We had the finance bill voting that happened over the week, that is from Tuesday to date. And the number of MPs who were absent during the voting, there were 187, I think so. And that is the highest number compared to those people who voted yes and those people who voted no. And now, my question is, what do you think is happening? Are they trying to avoid whatever happened in the previous finance bill that caused a lot of trauma in this country? Or are they showing us their political stance ahead of 2027 general election that is coming? Are they fearing the electorates? Or what was the main issue? The likes of Ndindi Nyoro, the MP of KR, people accused him online of being someone who's sitting on the fence. He doesn't know where to go to. And you saw him coming out to defend himself through his social media pages. So each person 2 minutes. If you raise your hand, I'm going to give you that opportunity. I'm going to start with King Maskonde. I've seen your hand. Then Juma, you'll take it from there. And any other person.
kindly give my chance to someone else. Kuna mali nimeshikana kidogo. Pole for raising the hand.
So Juma, you can take it.
Thank you very much. So for the finance bill, it was quite unfortunate that our members of parliament went ahead and voted for it, despite the fact that, people are people, and I do not actually differentiate between people who talk online and people who talk offline. Because you remember, even in 2024, the demonstrations began. The dissidents against the finance bill began on social media before it cascaded down to the people on the ground. So that means actually the voices, because nowadays social media is it's a space for so many people. It's now the corner where people talk, where truth is aired out, and many the youthful population, the youth. It has been a demographic dividend that has been considered to be politically apathetic, but over time it has actually woken up, and because of social media, the times have changed. People are able to engage through social media. And they are very literate, so they read, they understand, they are able to talk freely about what they feel is not right. So if you looked at the sentiments of people before the bill was actually introduced in parliament, majority of them had gone through the bill, sorry, and they were not in agreement with whatever provisions were being brought in place. So because we are a democratic state, I usually do read the finance bill, but for 2026, I did not find time to read because I'm doing some other stuffs that are taking my time. But when I was going through social media, I attended those X spaces where people were giving their views about the finance bill, and majority of them were not in agreement with the bill, and I hope that they had read. Now, because we are in a democratic state, I think it was only right if members of parliament had gone to parliament and voted against the bill. Because remember, even before Raila died, he was saying this issue of having members of parliament given money to go and initiate development project, it is not right. Let them go to represent, to legislate, and to oversight. So if you are representing and the people on the ground, that the people you are representing on the ground are saying no, you have no moral standing to say yes to something that the people are not in agreement with. So I believe it was quite unfortunate for those who voted yes. Those who voted no stood out in solidarity, but again, the reason why the people voted yes, those who voted no, some of them, you remember in 2024 they voted yes. So meaning a good number of them again did not have actually any special reason for voting yes. Maybe just because for voting no, sorry, just because they were aligned to Gashagwa and all that. Then a good number of member of parliament skipped the session. So I think that one was just a circus. You know, I believe the president. If you read the Roman Empire, whatever history, there was something called a circus, where if the people were opposing the emperor, he used to introduce horse racing so that people could go and the attention could be taken to something else, horse riding and all that, so that they could forget whatever the emperor had done. So I think that is just a stage. It's stage managed. The president, I think the government did that intentionally, so that you guys could shift your attention from talking about people voting yes to talking about people who did not vote. And actually the state achieved that, because you see, even here we are talking about a number of people who did not vote. Then about Ndindi Nyoro, I think Ndindi Nyoro is making us Kenyans to be useful idiots. He's the master of the circus. He's the dean of that circus. Somebody said that Ndindi Nyoro is a William Ruto mole in this Nini. So I think he's just trying to taste water, isn't it? To taste water with both legs. One leg is in the opposition, another leg trying to play safe. But I don't trust the guy. Bearing in mind that is the same guy who at some point said that President Uhuru Kenyatta, at some point advised President Uhuru Kenyatta to suspend the constitution and deal with Baba ruthlessly. So I don't believe the guy. He's just trying to make us useful idiots, which is not good. Remember, there was Mahatma Gandhi. He talked about the 7 sins, and among them he said, politics without principle. So I think Ndindi Nyoro is among the people who are playing this kind of politics without principle. There is nothing
Okay.
special with the man. There is nothing special with the man actually. So the earlier we avoid him, the better. But the parliament in Kenya is nothing but a house of jokers. Thank you.
Okay, Kelly, that was well articulated. Thank you so much. That was well explained. Frida, do you have anything to say?
Okay, for me, I would say that I've not gone through the bill itself, but according to the captions that I've gotten to read about it, I don't think it's a bill which is favorable for Kenyans. And my take would be it should have been voted no. But in the current political atmosphere of Kenya, I feel our leaders look like some who are in fear. There's an atmosphere whereby the leaders look like they cannot even express themselves well, probably because they feel if I say yes, things will go this way. If they say no, I might be also done wrong on the other side. But I uphold those who stand and say, if this thing is not right, it's not right. It's a no, it is a no. So those who voted no for me, I say thanks up for being on the Kenyan side, on the Mwananchi side, for voting no. But again, in Kenya, when we are talking about leadership, the MPs, I think we reach a point whereby us Kenyans come to realize that, you know what, and our members of parliament, our president, or the leaders that we have elected, are actually, we are the ones who have employed them. So we should hold them accountable for whatever thing that they do that does not go well with the citizens. That's it. Yeah.
Okay, I've seen Maskonde, you have raised your hand. Lilian, you have raised your hand. So kindly, let us keep on time.
Thank you. This is from the King. Must democracy or must people just say that the people who oppose the finance bill ndio watu wenye wako na mraia? but wale wenye wali support the finance bill hawako na mraia. Does opposing the government always, day in, day out, whatever they do, does that makes you democratic? Does that make you a hero? Does that make you feel that, yes, umetetea raia? And I beg to say this on this podcast. If you haven't read the finance bill, if you don't understand the finance bill, do not contribute about it. Because wewe na wengine wenye walikuwa na campaign huko parliament wanaambiwa, have you read it? Ni wapi inasema hivi? I totally support this finance bill. Actually, it is one of the most elaborate and detailed, because this finance bill, remember, it is actually 2027, the year ambayo tunaenda elections. So if anything goes wrong with it, then Ruto has to pay a price on it. So hakuna mtu yoyote, not even the MPs who voted for it, can mess with this year's finance bill. So we cannot just sit down and say, manze 2024 si to object finance bill. Hii finance bill ndio inatuumiza. Acha to object. So on a personal ground, those 186 MPs are the heroes. Those 40 something MPs wanafanya tu vitu for the sake of maybe mahome kwao ndio kunoma, wasipo vote no watatolewa.
Okay.
They are cowards. Unaona?
For the interest of time,
Yes,
kindly.
that's my point. Tupatie wengine.
So thank you. I think last week, Gabriel Okole explained to us a finance bill for those people who are here, because he was among those people who are working with the CS for Treasury, explaining to people what is in the finance bill, though he did not explain it into details. So it is always good to read, and we go to the people, explain, as who have the privilege to read. It's good for us to read the finance bill, then we go to the people and explain to them the content that is on the bill before we start opposing. That is just an honest conversation. So, Leon, kindly.
Actually, like what Freda, Jumar, and Nanima Maskonde have said. You see, what's happening is, it is true. If you look at these MPs who are voting yes, it's like they're afraid of losing their power, honestly, because they know some of these things, they don't favor the citizen. However, if you look at it, wacha niseme, two term, but behind the scenes, unapata wanja wanaongea mbaya. But one thing they don't understand is, this is affecting us, and we're not the citizen. I don't think we should be able to forget. The finance bill had a lot of loopholes, to be quite honest. And whenever they talk about mass participation of these things, they pick a selected few. It's like how we normally watch these guys wanachukua watu wanaingiza kwa bus ili uende kwa campaigns zao ama whatever, they're doing a speech for them to clap for them. So I don't know. Inakupatia pressure but hautaki kujam, but ushakasirika. So it's and then now it has already been adopted. So you look at it in terms of, like, I'm looking at it from a business perspective. I'm like, okay, the taxes, okay, there's this closure, there's tule tu chini ya maji that you don't, they wanitangaje, not the fine print, the other one. And I am for the idea of just having how do you say this, like in illiteracy, like civic education, so that most of us at mashinani, we know like what's going on, because I think that's one of the part that is missing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Moses, kindly shorten, then we discuss the last part, then we can call it a day.
Thank you so much, Steve. Unajua nimekunywa maji kidogo kwa sababu kitaja baba nasikia roho inatoka nje, lakini nimerudi ndani. So on this issue,
What is a person? Nimesema pole.
On a lighter note, on this issue, Steve, I don't know, I'm the one who is naive or what is the problem. I've never had finance bill discussion in the time of Uhuru Kenyatta. Sijui mimi nilikuwa sifuatili politics, because this is the first time I'm hearing finance bill wakati wa Ruto, this government. So maybe Steve can help me to understand, or any other person can help me to understand. Hizi finance bill za wakati wa Uhuru zilikuwa zinapita saa ngapi? How was it done? Kindly, if somebody can just help me with that.
So you've never seen the treasury, the minister of finance going to the parliament even during Uhuru's reign to go and do the budget. How come
No,
part you part?
no, the
I
issue
cannot
is
see.
the discussion on finance bill, the discussion budget tuko tunaiona, lakini but the discussion, the hype, the vigor, people discussing it, sikuwa naiona wakati wa Uhuru. How was it done? Mi niona tunaamka asubuhi, naona mtu ametoka na koti hapo treasury na maua hapa kwa koti, anatembea ndani anasoma budget. Kama
Okay.
mimi ndio nilikuwa sifuatilii politics, I don't
Okay,
know.
Moses, let me
Yes.
enlighten you. These things started with the national development plans. I think, Kelly, you know them all together as we go ahead. From the first up to whatever we came to the finance bills and the rest. Now, the finance bill, here, Ruto, what brought about around, I think 2024 ilikuwa na a lot of discussion because of the number of taxes that were introduced. You saw the way it was not favoring the common Mwananchi. So, and the enlightenment that we have with the Gen Zs, the people of the current generation, the social media, the X space, people are enlightened, they're educated, they know whatever is happening. So they take their time to read. Ile ya kitambo, walikuwa nasema baba kisha soma, kila mtu amesoma. So they were not even having time to read between the lines. So year 2024, I think the number of taxation zenye zilikuwa introduced, ndo zilianza kuleta around this discussion.
Can I say something briefly, Steve?
Just briefly.
Me, I feel this notion was also there during Moi must go. Let me just be a little bit on this one. There's a particular people they feel when they're in power wamenyamaza. But when there's another people in power, because we also have this hype about Moi must go. But during Kenyatta's time, nothing was said. Again, the same hype, I saw it coming during Ruto's time. That is me, my feeling. I don't know.
No, Moses, you get it wrong. But okay, the days of Moi must go, it was there. You remember even when Musalia Mudavadi was going abroad to take the loans, the international bodies were not willing to do all that. But Juma is a good student of history. I'm also a good student of history. I can explain it to you later. But because of time, for the interest of time, kindly let us move to the next discussion. I think I'm not leaving someone outside. If you think I'm leaving outside this discussion, kindly you can raise your hand. Everyone is okay up to there. So the last part is about the protest, the Gen Z protest. I think I already mentioned it earlier. We have seen leaders like James Orengo and the rest telling people to come out and commemorate whatever happened in 2024 in remembrance of the heroes that we lost during those time. Today you saw the DCP party leader, Mr. Rigathi Gachagua, telling his supporters not to come out because government is planning to finance some goons to go on the street. So do you think it is a good idea to go on the street to remember these heroes, hold a peaceful demonstration? Or is it a bad idea now that we have a lot of goons within our country? Because goons have been there. Even yesterday, you saw Trevor Mbija and Kipchumba Murkomen during that live interview. Murkomen denying some facts that were being shown on the television. So do you think it is a good idea? I'll start with you, Lian. Kindly, short minute, then I'll go to Moses, then Juma as we go.
Okay. I think it's a good thing to remember our fallen soldiers because we were all there trying when we were doing the Gen Z movement. One thing that has been happening with this government is they've learned that the people are actually really tired of them. So they're enforcing chaos such that something that is so peaceful to look like ni mashida. So one end, I will support, like, you know what, it's fine. We can mourn them on a different place. Though I would love to have had that anniversary, but I wouldn't want to see more lives being lost, honestly, because we know for a fact these goons they are hired killers.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Juma.
Thank you very much. I'll also join the lady was just spoken before me to also remember those who lost their lives courtesy of the 2024 anti-finance bill protests. And I'll also join the people who have encouraged people not to come out on the next. That's on 25th to do the commiseration of those who died, because the government is out here to send fear to the people through killing, and I think it's not a good idea. But what saddened me is, death can never be justified in a country that believes in the rule of law. If there is anything somebody did wrong, I think the government should have taken people to court and charged them accordingly. So today I saw on social media the nominated senator for Nairobi, Karen Nyamu, saying that people have been dying since the times of Kenyatta, since the times of I've said about the 7 sins that Mahatma Gandhi talked about, politics without principle. So if people like Nyamu are the leaders we have in this era, I think as a country we cannot think of being Singapore, isn't it? We can think more of being Singapore than being Singapore. So death can never be justified. Telling us that people died during the times of Moi, the times of Kenyatta, therefore people should die to die. That's some sort of bullshit. It's not good. But just to encourage many youths, you've said we are live on YouTube. Let me hope that many people are listening to us. That the most powerful weapon we have as of now is the vote we took. The Nico Card initiative. Somebody said that we are a trending generation. We go with the trends, and somebody has highlighted this here. So uh, it is quite unfortunate. It is quite unfortunate that we come with the hype Nico Cardi, then when it comes to voting we don't go to vote, and then after the election we start crying around. So the most powerful weapon we have as of now is the vote. Let's come out in large numbers on the 10th of August 2027 and vote out anybody that we think is not good for this country.
Okay, thank you.
Very much.
Thank you, Juma. I'll give Moses then Godfred, but the likes of Karen Nyamu, I don't know if it is right even to call a senator.
It's a
That's
quick
kind
one.
of stupid.
On this one, Steve, I want to agree with Lian on this one. Wajinga ni sisi. Because the moment you hear a politician complaining, definitely that politician is not eating. The likes of Rigathi Gachagua, just play the clips, what he used to say was in government and after being impeached. So these people, I can use the word like scavengers. They're just taking advantage of us. Number one, before these Genesis go to street about finance bill, who mobilized them to go? So why should they purport now the likes of Kinakalons, they're mobilizing them to go and demonstrate? Liam on this one, I support you fully. Wajinga ni sisi. These guys are taking us for a ride. Wanatufanyia mzaa. Nobody told us to go on street about finance bill. Tulienda pale sisi wenyewe willingly. Now, why should James Orengo start to mobilize us to go and commemorate those soldiers that we lost? They, lack of better word, they're just taking opportunity to advance their political gains. So the issue is this: sisi watu wa chini, let us wake up now. On this discussion, Liam raised before. That's where the issue is, according to me.
Okay, thank you so much, Moses. Godfred.
So hello, sorry leo nimeingia late kidogo, but mambo ya kazi kidogo. What I would say is that if there is one thing mimi nilisema sitawahi fanya ni kuchoma mahindi na stove. And by saying that, I mean, actually, I'm one of the people who has never, ever, since I was born, ever gone for maandamano. It's not because I'm a coward. It's not because that I'm so busy. No, it's just because of one thing. When I say kuchoma mahindi na stove, it's basically what has ever come, what has ever, yani, kizungu hata inapotea. Ni kitu gani kubwa ama mzuri sana ishai come out of maandamano? Because basically I'm one of the people who believe that even losing one life, wachana hata na tatu, even losing one life, it's so much important to me than all the hype that is usually done in Nairobi and all the likes. And I usually come to ask my fellow people who usually go for maandamano. It's not like it's bad, it's your democratic right or something. But what do you gain from maandamano? That is the question I would even ask right now. What do you gain from maandamano? Because all the maandamanos that tumekuwa nazo pale kwa ground, zimekuwa all of them ending up with deaths, ending up with kupigwa tear gas, ending up with kuoshwa, ending up with kuambiwa pale kwa press conference, okay, tumewasikia, so let's do this, we will sort this and this, then tuendelee. Na that is the only way tumekuwa tukiambiwa. But one of the things nimekuwa nikiadvocate, last month I was in Tanzania for the ULEAD summit. There was a summit for youths of all Africans, and I told them the only option, ama the only weapon that we can always advocate for as youth, my friend, yani tuko na all the avenues in our hands, but sisi wenyewe ndio hatutaki kutumia. Ukiangalia zile by election ambazo zilifanyika juzi, nilikuwa nafikiria that youth tumekuja kuamka ile to an extent let's remove these people who are doing all these things. Tuwatoe, weka huyo kijana wenu mwenye anauza mahindi hapo, weka huyo kijana mwenye ananyoa hapo, weka huyo kijana mnaitaga youth leader mtaa mwenye hata ana one bob hata amumpeagi anything, mwekeni hapo for that position, but it didn't happen. Mlirudisha wale watu wazee, and it is the same thing that will happen in 2027. So why should you go to the street and demonstrate that these old people are doing this and this, which is also a good thing, but also ukipata your opportunity, you are not using it to remove them. So kindly, as I finish, 2027 is coming. No amount of maandamano will help. No amount of maandamano will help. Tutakuwa na memories, tutaweka anniversary number 2, tutaweka anniversary number 10, but if we don't vote them out, Kenya will never change. Thank you.
Okay, Godfrey, thank you so much. Frida, kindly, guys, time.
Mine is very simple. The only maandamano that we can do, let us go to the voting. Let us vote. That should be the only maandamano that we should have. Simple and clear.
Thank you so much. Lian, you've raised your hand. Moses, you've raised your hand, but time has gone. But guys, kindly, 1 minute. I know the two of you like extending time, but kindly 1 minute.
Now we are friends. We'll behave. To be quite honest, I do agree with what he was saying. The only thing we can be able to do is change at the ballot. Like I said earlier, our problem as Kenyans is we allow popularity, not it's called what, accountability, to govern us. And I really wish when it comes to like 2027, we have like a platform whereby anyone who is vying, we show all their misdeeds. Then maybe we can try and vote better. Bashida ni unavotia huyu anaingia kigeugeu. So now you see, we're stuck to 0. That's it.
Moses, 1 minute.
Steve, I'm wondering when somebody says maandamano haijatusaidie chochote, how did Ruto change the previous financial bill? Ni maandamano tulichapa ndio akaita press conference akatupilia kitu mbali. How did you get independence? How did you get multi-party? Sometimes where the country is going now, voting alone will not solve these issues. We have to take the power by ourselves. Demonstration helps. I think it's very brief.
Thank you so much. Let me say my last words. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining today. We started a little bit late. In the middle, I even wondered if I'm going to hold on this discussion for this quite long because of the tension that was there. But the good thing is that we have ended up as friends. That is quite okay. I appreciate that. Leon, the topic that you have brought, I think we will discuss it next week on Tuesday. I think I can make it like msitu ni tofauti, lakini nyani ni wale wale. And we will discuss some of the things that we electorates, we voters, fail to identify as we go back to the election. Where do we fail? And this is just siasa. Tusieke, as Mandago says, siasa unaeka kwa lungs, unakoa inatoka. Tusieke kwa roho. So thank you so much. About maandamano, what I can say, for now, our country is facing insecurity in a lot of areas. First, we have goons maneuvering all over. You saw whatever happened, even in church, All Saints Cathedral, goons walking around. We saw police officers escorting goons with rungus on the streets of Nairobi. Are we safe as a country? Now, if we say that we are going to hold on peaceful demonstration, are the security apparatus able to protect us throughout that operation? The answer is no. So let us just remain indoors. And whatever happened in the past, let it remain like that. But let us remember our responsibility come 2027. Let us all go and vote. We go and vote for someone who is reasonable. I think we'll discuss about that during our next discussion. So we usually have these discussions like this every Tuesday, but we are trying to work on something. We just have few, let me say, hiccups here and there that are making us not hold on a physical discussion, but I think in the course of the week we'll be ready, even before Saturday. We can have even physical discussion at our studio, as I had already mentioned earlier in Kudimani, if you want to visit. And yeah, thank you so much. Have a wonderful night. If someone has a last word, I think no one.
Steve, mtu asiguze baba tafadhali. Mtu asiguze baba. Nitavunja simu.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Sasa, thank you.
Thank you so much, and have a good night, everyone.
You too.
See my people.
Unajua iko fitina mingi. There is no progression. What we are trying to build is a nation. Unajua iko fitina mingi. There is no progression. What we are trying to build is a nation. Unajua iko fitina mingi. There is no progression. What we are trying to build is a nation. Unajua iko fitina mingi. There is no progression. What we are trying to build is a nation. Unajua iko fitina mingi. There is no progression. What we are trying to build is a nation.